Hey everybody, welcome in. I hope that you're all doing well. I just want to take this opportunity to thank everyone that has subscribed and everyone that is here. I do appreciate you and I bless every and each and every one of you. Okay, so let's get into this message. So, when we look into a mirror, we see the reflection we see is two-dimensional, and yet we are three-dimensional. This can lead to a distortion of how we see ourselves and our physical bodies. Mirrors reflect our surroundings, it reflects our image, right? But mirrors also reflect light. So, in terms of spiritual symbolism, mirrors are indicative of wisdom, of knowledge, of illumination, of spiritual concepts. So, mirrors can be seen as the dividing line between conscious and unconscious. It can be seen as the dividing line between the physical world and the spiritual world. But it is also a reflection of the truth. So, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as a true reflection? Or do you see yourself as a distorted perception of who you really are? The suggestion here then is to use the mirror effect to recognize not just the physical, but also the spiritual, as well as to bring balance. So, mirrors represent the concept of duality, right? And it is also a source of self-reflection, of our thoughts, of our feelings. And just so the eyes are the mirrors of the soul. So anytime we go through any kind of pain or trauma, when we look into the mirror, it reflects back to us that brokenness, that darkness that we might be feeling at that time. It's like the eyes lose some of the sparkle, some of the light. However, when we release the personality and the limitations that we place on ourselves, and we allow the soul to step forward and to lead, right, we will open up the channel of universal light and healing. And one can see this in the way, if we look into the eyes of a young child, there is so much sparkle, there is so much light in the eyes. And that is because they have been untainted by the third dimensional world. And sometimes we ourselves block that light, right? Because of having gone through some kind of pain or trauma, we block that light by closing off our hearts. But what we are really doing is we are creating an opposition to that light, which is our natural state. It is our divinity. We all have a light spark within us, and it is through that spark that the divine connects to us and works through us. If we want to do any kind of self-reflection work, there is basically 3 mirrors that we need to have a look at. So the journey of the mirror effect is never one of shame and guilt. It is rather the gentle removal of the distorted perception that we have of ourselves, and the compassionate blossoming of our journey back to reclaiming all parts of ourselves, so that we can once again come back to wholeness. Because that is what that is what we, whether we recognize it or not, it is what we are constantly striving for, is to come back to wholeness. And so, by reclaiming those parts of ourselves is also how we take our power back. So the mirror effect, in the spiritual sense, right, has 3 reference points or 3 mirrors. So the first mirror is the one in which we go through any kind of hurt or pain or trauma, and we lose parts of ourselves. A good example could be later in life, right? We might be in a committed relationship and we are happy, and we meet someone and perhaps we are attracted to that person. We were told that maybe that is wrong, you shouldn't feel that way. But there's something deeper there. If we really look into that mirror, we will find that there is something deeper there. It is something there for us to learn. And sometimes it happens because the qualities of that person fills the parts that we have lost, having gone through that pain or trauma. In my situation, right, I was always attracting narcissists. Up to the point where I had become literally sick and tired. It was starting to affect me physically. And I was just so tired, just so done. But I knew there was something there that I needed to see. And I wanted to heal myself, because we can only ever heal the self. And I had to look at what this person was showing me, right? Or these people were showing me. They were lying, they were cheating, manipulating. And so I had to reflect back on my life, And as a child and as an empath, I always felt like I didn't fit in. I always felt like an outsider. And so I dimmed my light. I made myself as small as possible to be accepting of others. So what the narcissist was reflecting back to me was my own manipulation of my energy and of who I truly was. trying to make myself feel small. I was manipulating my own energy. And how I thought that lie, because it was a lie, right? Trying to make you feel yourself feel small just so that you can fit in or be accepted. You're actually living a lie. And how I thought that lie was okay. But in fact, I was just cheating myself out of truly finding my own voice, liberating myself, and more importantly, accepting myself. So that would be your first mirror. So the second mirror is the one in which we idolize someone. Whether we see their bravery, their courage, whether we idolize their looks, the clothes they wear, the cars they drive, how tall they are, etc., etc. So we look up to that person, right? And it gets to the point where we kind of watch, especially with movie stars or musicians, right? We idolize them to the point where we watch all their videos. Any new video that comes out, and we're going to be first to watch. We are idolizing. So when we do that, the mirror is actually trying to show you how powerful you are. That the qualities that you are actually witnessing or idolizing in someone else is what exists within you. And that actually you have all those qualities within yourself. And that is your true reflection. So, what you're idolizing about someone else, right? It is actually something that you have lost. A quality that you have lost or given away, or it has been taken from you. So, this mirror, the second mirror, where we idolize, is more about reclaiming the self, taking back our power, seeing, perhaps things that we have gone through, just how courageous we really were. Because many times we do not take the time to actually reflect on just how far we have come. And I think that is so important. Then your third mirror would be how you see yourself. The I am. What do you add after I am? That is your third mirror. How do you see yourself? I am. What do you add after that? I am broke. I am fat. I am thin. I am. I am. I am. That is your third mirror. Is it a true reflection, or is it a distorted perception of yourself? So, like I said, the mirror effect is never there for you to feel shame or guilt. It is really about the releasing of that distorted perception and the coming back to the true self. So, as you travel on this journey of self reflection and coming back to the self and seeing the true you, remember our true natures is unconditional love and light. So may you be gentle with yourself as you journey back to love, to light, and back to your soul. Remember that love is love and light. He is the thread that runs through all existence. So now, even though I've spoken about the three mirrors, there is, in fact, a fourth mirror. And the fourth mirror is when we have healed the previous three mirrors and we now have reached a higher frequency. So what happens when we reach a higher frequency, or when we connect to our higher selves? We then become a mirror for others. We become a reflection for what others are running away from what they need to heal within themselves. And many times they become offended, or they project onto you their unhealedness. And they do this because they don't want their illusions destroyed. But the fact is, because you have raised your vibration and because you are now connected to your higher self, you understand from that higher perspective, you understand what is actually happening. So that will be my message for today. From my heart to yours, I hope that it could help you in some way, because that is always my intention. So from my heart to yours, I wish you peace, love, and light. Namaste.